What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Off the Ball podcast with me, your host, Chris LeBron. And on today's show, man, it feels like I'm about to get the whole squad from Texas, Rio Grande Valley, man. I got another member of the squad. I got Jordan Jackson on the show. Jordan, what's going on, my man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just how you holding up with, obviously all the craziness going on in the world, coronavirus. How you holding up, man?
Man, it came out of nowhere, dude. Like everything got shut down all at one time. And, I mean, for me personally, like it was, man, I'd say it was probably one of the most frustrating times. And I mean, a lot of people can probably attest to that. But like I said, speaking personally, it was we were actually in Vegas for a conference tournament.
Yeah. Leslie had told me when I had him on the show. I mean, that's brutal, bro.
We were rolling though. Like at this time, we were rolling, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I think we had won like our last 8 or something like that.
Oh, so you guys are really rolling,
so we were rolling, and we got to compliment. We were second, dude. We wanted to, man.
I mean, I can imagine that feeling. I mean, especially going into your senior season, and we all know you win your conference tournament, you get that automatic bid, and you never know what happens. I mean, we just saw a couple years ago a 16 beat a 1. So I mean, that get
4.
Yeah. So like you just never know what could happen, and I'm sure that's just devastating. And I mean, I felt for you guys. Obviously, big college basketball fan, and I love. To me, that's the best part. NCAA tournament is great, but seeing the conference tournaments is probably the best part of the whole March Madness thing is seeing Cinderella teams beating the top teams.
Get into the big dance. So it makes it more competitive.
Yeah, I mean that's just devastating. Especially like you just say, you guys were rolling, and you guys are playing great basketball, and that's that like I said, man, that was the worst part of everything is just no NCAA tournament for no one, and a lot of seniors not getting that chance. I mean, just talked about the morale after that. Just when were you told that it's a wrap?
So don't exactly quote me, but I believe it was the day of the game. It was the day of the game, and coach just called everybody down into our meeting room and was just like, they basically told us everything was canceled and he hates it. And man, as soon as he said that, I looked around the room, dude, and you could see everybody's faces. Just like, dude, because the thing was, like, we literally had the perfect setup to go to the tournament. Like, I think we were second place. So we were on the completely opposite side of the bracket than New Mexico State, who is like the powerhouse in the conference.
Yeah, they're nice, yeah.
But years before that, we're 4th place. We're like 4th, 5th place. So we're playing them in those first couple of games, those first rounds. Rather we be on the totally opposite side. So this year, dude, we're on the totally opposite side. Everything's set up perfect. All we got to do is come out and play our best basketball every single night.
Which you guys were. You just said, right? You won 8 in a row going in.
We were balling. And then it just happened. So I mean, after that, the morale was, but everybody understood, and we knew we were. I don't want to speak too fast or speak for anybody else, but it was kind of like everybody knew. Everybody was kind of content with how the season, went. Mm-hmm. We just wanted that little bit extra. We wanted to fully complete it, but at the end of the day, we did end the season on a winning track. We ended the season. We broke history. We had a great year. So, I mean, that's all you can really ask for with how everything ended. But I do say this. If it didn't end, I would like to see how everything would have turned out.
Yeah, and you're always going to have that, but damn, man,
yeah.
what if? It's always going to be – I'm sure when you get older and, 20, 30 years, you're going to be like, damn, like what if, that didn't happen? We could have at least got to the tournament and, at least have a chance, and see what happens, because like I said before, you just never know what happens. So that would, and be conference champions. I mean, I'm sure that was something that you and your squad was looking for, holding cutting the nets down and holding the trophy. I'm sure.
It was crazy. Me and Les talked about it. Like before the year even started, we were like, bro, like we're gonna do something this
year.
Yeah. And we both understood that, and we went into the season with that mindset. But like I said, it's even more of a, like when you're on the outside looking in, like you don't really understand.
Mm-hmm.
But like from the inside, that was actually probably the best season that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
In my whole basketball career, that team, because that team was so resilient that not one thing could hold them back. And to be a part of something like that is special.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Here, dude, we were struggling. Like we were struggling. But, going down the line, it was nobody had a give up attitude. Everybody was just like, no, we're gonna turn this around. And that's what happened. Everybody started clicking. Everybody started playing their roles the right way, and the ball was moving. Everybody was getting touches. Everybody was playing the best basketball.
So what do you think went wrong the first, the first part of the season? What do you think went wrong that, you guys and then because you guys obviously you finished winning 8 in a row. So what happened those first, for a month or so where you struggled?
Yeah. I feel like at the beginning, well, we had like a completely new team, honestly. Like a totally new team. I think we had that actually we're actually eligible and playing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we had, I think before the season, of course you go into your summer workouts and stuff like that, but there's nothing, and I say this all the time, and I mean people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, there's nothing like building chemistry than playing in a game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nah. Like you can go through all the drills in practice, you can run through all your plays, you can do all of this, but you don't playing in a game in certain situations, you don't know.
Exactly.
So that was our problem. Like we looked on paper, we looked solid.
Yeah.
We were good. Even in practice, we were very good. But even games, we had our spurts. That was our problem. We played in spurts a lot of the time. But once we got rolling and everybody, got that mindset, I'm telling you, dude, it was just like tunnel vision, like moving straight ahead. Like we didn't look back at anything, whatever was in the past, or we didn't pay attention to records. We didn't do any of that. We just kept playing. And like I said, it just turned out. It just turned out good.
I mean, that's the mindset you got to have. No matter if you're 0-15, 0, so you just got to, whatever happened in the past, whatever happened, you got to keep going. And everyone has to play their role. I feel like not enough, when we see teams that struggle, and no matter in college or the NBA, it's always because guys are not essentially playing their role. Everyone wants to be the star. Everybody wants to be, the go-to guy. And it seems like you guys, you figured it out. Everyone's like, all right, play your role. If we all play a role, we're gonna be good. Because you haven't. I look at your roster. You guys you have some guys. You got talent. So the talent was there. Yeah.
Dude, talent. We had talent, dude. Like across the board, everybody could do something. Like and exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And kudos to our coaching staff, man, because they never stopped like harping that like you have to play your role. Whether you like it or not, you have to play your role. And the more they kept harping on that and everybody understood that and everybody was on one page, the rest was history, dude. Everybody bought in. Because at that time, like I said, when you have different players coming from a lot of different backgrounds, you're going to have clashes, and it's going to be kind of tough in the beginning. But once you work out those kinks and everybody's on the same page, it makes everything a whole lot easier.
Yeah. For sure. That's definitely, I mean, a lot of teams need to adapt that if they want to have team success, for sure. So let's rewind it a little bit. Let's talk about, when did you first start, playing basketball? When was that first moment where you realized, man, I love ball. I love ball.
I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I've been around the game, ever since before I was even born, I was around the game.
Yeah.
But just growing up watching basketball and just the thrill of the game and the excitement that you see, when you go to the games, just being able to witness the atmosphere, you know, as a young kid, you're like, man, I want to be a part of this, you know, if you actually truly love the sport. And so whenever I started playing around like 8, 5, 6, just playing, you know, just in those little leagues, like the little kid leagues, just playing. That kid that showed up with like headbands on and wristbands and like the arm sleeve wanted to be Allen Iverson.
Yeah, I did.
So,
I went through that phase.
yeah. So, you know, but it was great. Like, I enjoyed doing that as a kid, and just growing up, eventually I just got to the point where I was just like, man, like, I want to be a basketball player. I just told myself I want to be a basketball player. And, you know, just started playing basketball all through high school, middle school, high school, summer ball, and eventually got a scholarship offer to go play ball. And now I'm here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who were the guys that you looked up to playing? You know, who was your favorite players growing up?
I don't want to necessarily say I have a favorite player because I like a lot of players.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So give me a couple. Give me a few. Because I'm the same way. I never had one guy. I had a bunch of guys too. So I know that.
Yeah. So I'm obviously, you know, RIP. I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan. Rest in peace. Well, of course, I'm a Brown fan. I'm a huge Brown fan. I love Russ. Russ,
yeah, Russ is dope.
I love Russ. That's if I had to go with a favorite player, it'd be Russ.
Russ, good because this is intensity. Like he's just 100%.
I love the way he attacks the basket. Like he's ferocious. Like, he would try to dunk on anybody.
Oh yeah, he's a specimen. I mean, we haven't seen. I mean, maybe Derrick Rose as far as like pure athletic point guard. Like
before knee injury was a problem.
Yeah. I mean, MVP at 21. I mean, the youngest MVP ever. I mean, that's I always get sad talking to him because it's like, you know, once he got hurt the year after, it's like it's sad seeing that. I remember growing up like Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill feeling the same way about them. Like those were my two guys growing up, and then them getting hurt, you know, and you know that always sucks seeing guys like that, you know, getting hurt. But was there any guy that you try to emulate your game after? Was in particular?
Yeah, I would say Russ.
Because I would say, yeah, I see the way you dunk. So you gotta you dunk, and you don't just dunk. You dunk ferocious. Like I've saw some like, oh wow, you dunk with authority. So I could definitely see that.
Yeah, because like I like one time I had a play, and after the game, and my mom and dad are like my biggest critics. Like they would tell me, even if I have a really nice, I thought it was really nice. I'm like, hey, did you see that? They were like, yeah, but you also shot 2 for 10.
So you thinking you're doing nice? You had a nice game. Yeah. Like, well, you shot 20%. So you had 20 points, but you shot 20% doing that. So they put your mood down real quick after.
So no, yeah, you know, I had a play one time, and I think it was like a transition play. Like I got the ball off the rim, full court rebound, pushed it full court, and just took off, you know, and just dunked it. My mom was like, that was kind of like, you looked a little bit like Russell right there, like Russell Westbrook. So then after that, I just started like honing in, like watching a lot of Russell Westbrook film and just seeing like how ferocious he was and attacking the basket, and you know his attitude on the court was just like, I'm gonna beat my guy every single time. And I love that about him, and just his competitive nature. You know, so that was something I actually did before every single game. I watched Rusty highlights before every single game.
Yeah, and he's got that kind of that Kobe DNA to also where he's just, you know, we ain't friends on the court. You know, we can, you know, whatever after, but on the court, you know, my guys, that's who I'm rocking with. He's not dapping other people. He's not. It's just all, you know, Mamba mentality. Like I'm just gonna kill, and that's something I like about Russell Westbrook is that mindset.
Before the game, we can be cool. After the game, we cool. During the game, we're not friends.
No, definitely not. He has that, and that's cool. How'd you feel about the whole, you know, OKC and you know breaking like they had Harden, Westbrook, and KD, and then it goes to KD and Westbrook, and then it's just Westbrook, and then eventually it's no one. How do you feel How do you feel? Because I think that's one of the most interesting things. I mean, they drafted 3 MVPs, but then they never got the full, what they wanted. How do you feel about that whole situation?
A lot of people talk about it, and I've never really given my take on it. I've never really, but honestly, in my opinion, I feel that if they all 3 were to stay there, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, 2 ball dominant, right?
If you think about it, the way Harden is playing right now,
you can't play like that.
That's not. I mean, him and Russ are together. They're back together right now. But okay, you got 2 of them that are already taking majority of the shots. Nobody else on the Rockets is, they're really taking.
No, they don't have no other shot creators like that on the team.
But no, I feel like if they would have all stayed together, that's a lot of basketball, dude. I don't think that's enough basketball on the court.
Nah.
Have 3 isolation players that are gonna go get theirs regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting.
That's a fun 2K team.
James was still on the bench.
Yeah, he was coming off the bench.
He was
6th man of the year, I believe.
Exactly. He wasn't even on the bench. So now, with the James Harden that we have today, he's not coming off the bench.
Oh no! And that was the whole thing. And that was the whole issue, is what he wanted to play more. And so, they didn't want to give him that. He would have stayed, but they didn't want to give him an extra $4 million or so. So they kind of picked between him and Ibaka. And at that time, they really needed Ibaka more, because Ibaka can, at least at that time, he was more around the rim, rim protector and all that. So they kind of needed Ibaka more than Harden. I don't think they thought Harden was going to be, as good as he is, where he's averaging 36, 37 a game. I know that I thought they think he'd be good, but I don't think they would have thought, because they would have got a lot more in that trade. Because if you look at that trade, they ain't get no one for him pretty much. They pretty much just gave Houston him. So I mean, that's the only thing.
James, he went to that Houston team when they were on the rebuild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was the Houston team that still had Chandler Parsons.
Yeah, Parsons.
Jeremy.
Yeah. They had those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were on they were on a rebuild, So James went there and was just he was already, you know what I'm saying, he was already the man coming in. Yeah. So all it was just putting the pieces around him, and now it's now let's go get a couple more. And luckily they got Rusty this year. Now they got Russ, and we'll see how the season finishes out. Honestly.
So how do you feel about, the season coming back? How do you feel about the whole, the bubble? And do you think it's going to work, because they, to keep guys inside contained for for some teams, a couple weeks, they'll be eliminated. But if you're the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Rockets and the Bucks, you're going to be in there for a few months. So how do you think that's going to work?
Man, look, when they announced that, I was just dude, because I honestly thought at one point that it was just going to be botch the season, get rid of the season, everybody get back to, on your normal schedule, workouts, cool, this, and that. We'll have the draft. We'll do all that. And then start up next year. But
yeah,
I don't know how it's going to work. Is it going to end in December? And
I think they're starting up next season in December, and I think this season will end around maybe October-ish, end of October. The finals will be the end of October, I believe, something like that. So I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just throw stuff off, but I mean the whole bubble deal, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Listen to everything that they were talking about, and I think after a certain amount of time, they're gonna allow, guests, I guess, to come. But I was just at that point, I don't know.
It's. I mean, I've talked about this on a bunch of shows. What if you're allowed to bring guests, and then you get tested positive, and then that person brings it back, and then it just becomes a whole big thing. We're getting. I mean, they got a couple guys. I mean, the whole Mets team pretty much, half the team got coronavirus. So they're gonna bring a G League team pretty much, to the bubble. So obviously
and you don't always know who has it either.
Exactly, because it takes a while. You may have it for a week and not know it, and that's the crazy part about this. So, and what if, let's say you get to this, halfway through the playoffs and, God forbid, LeBron or Giannis or Kawhi, they get test positive. What happens then? Because they got a quarantine for 2 weeks, and, that changes everything now. So, so what happens then? It changes the whole thing. So, I mean, that's going to be the biggest issue that they're going to have to deal with is, what if that happens? Because it could happen. We saw with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, and KD got it. And KD's not even playing, and he got it, So that's the biggest thing.
Cases are popping up. And it's like, it's everybody, though.
Mm-hmm. It gets anyone. It don't matter who you are.
When we see like, when it's bad when you start to see like all these celebrities they're getting it in.
Tom Hanks, yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, okay, yeah, we've had some issues that we've had, like the swine flu and, Zika virus and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Ebola, all that.
But this right here is something that, like, we've never seen before. Like, everybody's getting it, and it's happening, like that, by the second, And it's crazy. But it's a whole other stuff going on around this world, too.
Yeah.
So
how do you feel about, obviously with the George Floyd stuff and all that? How do you feel? First of all, it's one of the toughest videos I've ever seen in my life. It's sickening. So, but how do you feel about, how do they keep their message? How do the NBA players continue to keep the message of that and social injustice and while hooping? How do you think they should handle that?
First of all, that topic is, I'm gonna keep my statements very, very short, because I went on about the topic of social injustice. But I feel like everybody is speaking out and doing their part. I feel like we can do more. I feel like there is more that needs to be done, obviously, clearly, but at the same time, I feel like people are using their platforms the right way. All the teams are, they're posting their, their messages, and players are still speaking out on it. And it's not just a standstill project. It has to keep moving forward. And I feel like with all these professional athletes and actors, singers, and artists, and all these different people, with them promoting, the Black Lives Matters movement and the social injustice change, all these different things, then, everybody's going to catch on to it, and everybody's going to keep moving forward, because people now realize, like, hold on, like, yeah, like, we're not living right. Like, this is not the right way to go. The world needs to change. So I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
And people's voices are being heard, because you see all these Confederate statues are finally getting taken down. Mississippi's flags finally getting changed. So people's voices they're listening. They're finally listening, and we're finally getting back all these things that we these statues and these people praising the Confederate flag. We're finally realizing, some people are finally realizing, this is garbage that that's representing the country that we supposedly love and all this. And we're seeing changes, and that's great. We just got to continue doing this, and continue to make progress. So I love what everyone's doing in the league, and know every celebrities and athletes what they're doing, and hopefully we continue to make progress in this country. But let's get back to you. Let's get back to you. So, coming out of high school, you choose Texas Tech. What was that process like for getting recruited? Just go through me, the whole recruiting process, and how tough it was, trying to pick the right school, because that's very important.
One thing I will say is the recruiting process was so much fun. Just finally getting your first taste of, I'm about to be out of the house going to college. What college? But no, out of high school, so I played summer basketball with TJ Ford Elite, and I can remember I really didn't have. I mean, I had interest. I didn't really have any offers until we went to Vegas. We went to Las Vegas, and we were playing in the Bigfoot. I think it was the Bigfoot tournament. And I think we had like 3 games that day, and then just went on. I mean, I played well, generated some more interest. Next thing you know, more phone calls were coming in. I think I got like my first 4 offers. And then so I eventually, by the end of the tournament, I eventually had, I think, about 12 offers. So after that, I narrowed it down. I narrowed it down between Texas Tech, Stephen F. Austin, and University of Houston.
Houston, okay. The Cougars.
I narrowed it down. Yeah, and I took my visits, and I mean, I loved all 3, dude. Like, it was so like that was probably one of the hardest choices for me to make.
Yeah, I could imagine that.
But at that time, you know, Tubby Smith was the coach at Texas Tech, so and I just felt like that was a good spot. So I decided to go there. Ended up transferring after that. So after my freshman
I wanted to talk about that. Like, how was that? So you go to Texas Tech, and you know you're not getting the minutes. Just talk about that whole process and the transition from. What was the biggest transition also from going from high school and being the guy? I'm sure you were the guy in high school, and then going to college where, you know, you got to – it's different. I'm different environment, and it's a whole different type of work. You know, just talk about that transition and how tough it was.
Man, so coming out, I don't think it really – like I really understood what I was headed into, you know, like – I thought it was all fun and games going to college, playing basketball.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just be honest. You know, that's honestly how I was. And when I first got down, and I was young too, though. Let's not forget that. I was 17 years old.
Oh, so you're younger than most. Because most guys 18. Yeah. You're not even 18.
I'm 17. So I get down there, and you know, we started practicing and started, you know, doing all these summer workouts, and I'm like, dude, like, this is because it's not just normal. I went straight into the Big 12. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because you're going to a big time conference, so you're not going to no, you know.
It's on and popping. Like, the second we get there, playing no game. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of adjustments, dude. Like, it was just the grind was different than I had ever been used to. You know, it's a full schedule. You know, you have trainers, you have dietitians, nutritionists, you have all these different things that you've never been a part of, and you're just it's a little bit overwhelming when you first get there.
I can imagine, yeah.
And so I settled down in my boots and was just like, okay, well, now it's time to lace them up and really get going. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm in practice. I'm getting bullied, dude. Like, I'm you know, I'm going against Todrick Gocher, Devontae Williams, Keenan Evans, you know, Justin Gray, so, you know, they're like some really good players, and they're already they've been through this for a year, or the people that I'm behind, who is a 5th-year senior in the Big 12, like, dude, like, So, hey, it was just battles, and I was getting better at each and every day, and I just saw progress, and I saw my body starting to transform, and so then, you know, after that came, you know, started becoming more confident, and so. Eventually we went to before the season even started, we did a foreign trip and went over to Canada. Okay. And we went over to Canada, and that was after we had gone through, you know, lengthy number of practices, and now I've kind of found my role. I think I'm 7th or 8th man coming off 6th to 8th man coming off the bench, going over to Canada.
Okay. So at least you're playing as a freshman, so I'm sure you were hyped about that.
Well over there, you know, I went over there. We made Sports Center over there. It was a dunk that made Sports Center in Canada. Dunk? We were over there, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like the number. I can't remember what it was. Like,
so you were then I'm sure you were hyped about that. That's dope. That's dope.
That, like, I finally got some, you know, like some adrenaline behind me, and I'm like, okay, so, you know, all I want to do is be able to just play well. That's it. I don't care. You know, so that comes, and so I have a little bit of confidence when we get back, and you know, and then it's the normal freshman thing. You know, I'm sitting and I'm watching, I'm learning the game. Of course, there's times where I became frustrated because I wanted to play, but at the same time, I understood that I'm sitting behind, you know, two seniors who are playing very well. And so, I just had to wait my turn. And so that's what I was doing. But at that time, we eventually went to the tournament. We had a great year. Went to the NCAA tournament. It was a part of history. I don't think we hadn't been in, I think, like 6 years or something like that before that.
Yeah.
So did that, and that was good. And we came back, and he actually, Coach Smith actually took another job.
He went to Minnesota, right? Did he go to Minnesota?
Yeah, no, Memphis.
Memphis. Yeah, was Memphis. Yeah, he went to Memphis, and then he left Memphis too.
Yeah. So after that, I went to a junior college. Played at a junior college for a year. After that, decided to go to Rio Grande with Coach Hill.
Talk about that junior college, because I went to a junior college, because I went to a big, kind of similar, not playing ball, but I went to a big college. I was just lost. So then I went to a junior college, and I was with a lot of athletes too who went through the same process where they were at big schools and they had to go to junior college because, whether playing time or academics. Let's talk about that, because you go from Texas Tech and now you go to junior. And I know junior college, and it's different. It's different.
At first it was rough, like getting accustomed to everything.
Yeah, because it's different.
I came from, we were at Texas Tech, a high major, Big 12 conference, and now I'm in JUCO.
Yeah.
It's like
I've seen, it's crazy because I've seen the same face with people talking to guys when I went to junior college, and they had the same, like, I was at, some guys were at St. John's, or they were at Rutgers, or, Syracuse, and they go here, and then it's different.
Actually, my roommate at JUCO was from St. John.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, yeah, man, I first got there, and I remember sitting in my dorm room, and I was just, like, looking at the ceiling, and I was just like, are you serious? Like, I was like, okay. Okay, all right. So you gotta make do with 1 year. You got 1 year. Gotta go, you gotta go play well. Get your education while you're here. Might as well get a degree here. So that was the plan, and eventually, but JUCO is different because it's everybody fighting for something.
Oh, it's a grind, yeah.
Back to that, either get to that next level or get back to that next level. So everybody trying. You have to prove yourself night in and night out, and people think that JUCO is a cakewalk.
No.
Just because somebody's in JUCO does not mean that they can't hoop.
Exactly.
And you never know what it could be while they're in JUCO, but they're Division I talent. And there's NBA talent everywhere.
NBA talent, yeah. Look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton was a JUCO at football, and he was an MVP and all this. So there's talent in JUCO. It's just some guys got to take different paths to get to where they got to go. Everyone's path's different. So how did you go about the recruiting process? Looking at schools for your next step.
I remember we had like a jamboree, and after the jamboree, once again, it's kind of like high school all over again. I knew the process by this time, and I was just like, dude, like I knew now I knew exactly what to look for in a school, because I went through the process already one time, and I saw how that turned out. So now I was just like, okay, like you've been through it, trial and error, you know how to go about it this time. You know what I mean? So up in this situation again.
Yeah.
So I just started, I started narrowing them down. And at the end of the day, when I was looking at it, I was like, Rio Grande, I was just like, and they were, it wasn't a big school. It was a smaller school, but I felt like that's what I needed to be able to flourish. Like I needed somewhere that was going to just believe in me and just trust in me. You know what I mean? And just give me that opportunity. And that's exactly what it was. So I decided to go there. Went my first year, actually got hurt. As soon as I got there, I got hurt. So I sat, which got me a red shirt year. I got a red shirt year for that. Then the year after that, we had a solid year. We went to the postseason. I think we went to the CIT. Went to the CIT. And then this past year was just what it was, man. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I just took off this past year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, because obviously you said your first year at Rio Grande, you get hurt, so you only played 4 or 5 games.
Yep.
So the next year, you play, you're getting minutes, and then last year you take your game to another. I mean, you almost doubled your points per game and stuff, and your free throws goes up. So just talk about, what did you change in your game to take that next step to, you average 50 points a game last year. You, like I said, you almost doubled your points. So what was that step that you took to take that next level?
I really feel like I finally was able to get comfortable, like I didn't really play at Texas Tech. I didn't really have the experience that I needed. JUCO was JUCO.
Mm-hmm.
I hurt. And then, so basically, if you think about it, I really had like 2 solid years to hoop at the Division I level,
mm-hmm.
which was last year and this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So, you always listen to your parents or, your family or people around you close when they're like, you can be really good. Whenever they say that, you're just like, all right. But when you sit there and have, conversations with your coaches and, as well as fellow teammates, and they're telling you like, dude, if you just focus and just get that dog, like you can really be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And were telling me, and I finally started honing into that. And I was just like the summer before last year, I was just gave my all to it, came back, had a very good year. We went to the postseason. After that, I wanted to make a point to come back with a vengeance, like show people like I know I can, like, because at first everybody was, Jordan Jackson got bounced, Jordan Jackson get dumped, Jordan Jackson. I wanted to show people Jordan Jackson can hoop.
You know what I mean? Exactly, yeah.
So literally the whole summer, I came back and I was working out, and whenever I was with my trainers and stuff like that, I told them, I said, whatever drills we do, no dunks. I literally told them, I said, no dunks.
Exactly.
I said, do everything else. I said, layups, floaters, jump shots, no dunks. I said, because I was at that point, I was kind of tired of being labeled as a dunker.
Yeah.
All he does is dunk.
Mm-hmm.
So I just made it a point, and I just started working on every asset to my game, and eventually came back, and I was just more comfortable. And that's all it was. I had the experience behind me. Okay, knock one thing down. The maturity level. Okay, knock another thing down. The mentality, knock another thing down. Now I'm comfortable playing the game, and I have confidence, and my coach had confidence, and my teammates have confidence in me. Now I'm playing freely.
And that just makes your game better. When everyone believes in you, when your teammates and your coaches, that just gonna make you play more freely and be more confident. You're not gonna get down. You're like, oh, no. Teammates got your back. Your coaches believe in you, and I'm sure that's what definitely helped you big time.
Oh, definitely.
How did you train yourself to not get discouraged? Because obviously, like you said, you played at the Big 12. You're at the Big 12. You're playing at Texas Tech, big conference, and then, like you said, you go to JUCO, and that's you can get lost there. A lot of I've seen stories of five-star recruits getting lost, and they didn't even get a sniff at the NBA or that next level. So how did you make sure to make sure, okay, no matter what, I still got to stay focus, because I could easily lose track, and then bam, my college career is over like that.
I'm gonna be really honest with you, man. Like after I left Texas Tech, I was in a bad place, dude. Like I felt so discouraged. Like I felt like I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't do it, like anything right, really. So, when I went to JUCO, like I've always been a spiritual person and like very, very strong in my faith. But when I got to JUCO, it's like that completely took over, because I was like down, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. Like I was questioning everything, like, why am I here? Like this and that. But then I realized like everything has a purpose. You know what I mean? Like you're fine. Like you're here for a purpose. And the more that I stayed in my faith, and I stayed, true to my spirituality, and just talking to myself and reading my Bible and going through stuff like that, like that honestly just got me through every single day. And it just made me it made my mentality stronger, and it just pushed me through, honestly. Like, and I had so much clarity with myself that I was finally able to relax. Like I had peace. So now I was able to just play the ball. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about, you left Texas Tech, or what the people at Texas Tech are thinking why you left. And because, I I left. But, you know, some people might not know why I left.
Yeah.
So worry about what happened. I don't look back at what happened. It is what it is. Like, I'm here. And, you know, honestly, like, if it wasn't for the trials and tribulations that I've been through, like in my college career, I wouldn't be here like where I am today.
That makes you a stronger person.
Bro, like they taught me so many lessons and made me so much stronger. Like now when I get something, like I really I keep it. Like I want, you know what I'm saying? I fight to keep it. So, and I think that's what happened when I finally got a taste of being on that court and being able to, you know, be somebody that your coaches can go to and that your teammates trust.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep that. You know what I'm saying? And so I was finally able to try to keep that, which was great.
Yeah, I think we all need to learn. We all need to go through a little bit of adversity so we can understand, you know, how to go through those things. You know, we all been through that. You know, I've been through it in life where, you know, you get through your low times and that makes you a better man. It's going to make you a stronger person, you know, in life. So I think, you know, the fact that you were able to overcome that and, you know, because like I said, man, there's a lot of guys that don't. They just they let that eat at them, and because, you know, they didn't have success at that one school, at a big time school, and then they just I need to go back, and it just gets to them, and then you just see them flame out and stuff. But, you know, the fact that you were able to, you know, go, like I said, go to that JUCO, you know, like I said, I know how that JUCO life is, and it's not fun, but you were able to get through that and then finally get to Rio Grande and have success. So I mean that's beautiful on itself right there.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So, you know, how do you look at your whole college career in the whole? Like, how do you want to be remembered for, you know, your college career?
As a resilient person.
Yeah, that's all.
And I say that because, you know, once I got my fresh start, you know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, I'm going to new school, new Division I school. Okay, cool, perfect. Fresh start. Get there, get hurt. First thing that happens is I get hurt.
Another thing, now you got to go another obstacle.
Yeah, another thing. So now I'm just like, because I had already told you once at JUCO, I was just like, man, I don't even want to play ball anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So then I get here and I'm like, okay, another chance. Get hurt, boom. Now I'm just like, okay, great. Like, what's next? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and just the fact that I just kept going, just never, you know what I'm saying? And eventually got to a point where I had like, it was like almost, I don't want to say like overnight success, but it was like, okay, you made like a stepping stone here. Like you got hurt, came back next year. Okay, now you're okay. Now next year y'all made history, second place. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just be a part of a team like that. And so I just want to be, you know, just that I was a resilient person, and I just kept going and just never gave up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely, you know, your story is definitely dope. And like some of the other guys I got to interview it, like they had similar stories to their resiliency. And I think that's something I like to really, you know, put on people is no matter what, you know, I say with my own podcast, you know, I've tried to do it a few times throughout the years, and I'm like, man, nobody's going to care what I have to say. You know, I'm just some random, you know, I'm just a guy who just likes watching ball, but nobody's going to care. But then, like I said, I started, you know, I'm like, you know, when I started it again this last year, I was like, you know what, let me go at it. And then, like I said, the work stuff, and, you know, I just had a baby girl. So I was like, man, but I was like, damn, I appreciate it. Yeah. So that was my second child. So I was like, man, but I was like, you know what, let's just go at it. I got, you know, that's how you just got to go at it. So I just went, you know, got my setup and all, and, you know, I had a little success here with the stuff. So like I said, you just got to go through those trials and tribulations and just keep grinding. And that's the number one thing is just keep grinding no matter what.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. So what have you been doing lately? How are you keeping in shape? Obviously, you know, coronavirus has, you know, shut down a lot of, you know, gyms and all that, and bath. I mean, they took the saddest thing I saw was just seeing them take down basketball hoops. I mean, that broke my heart, especially in New York City where we're basketball is king here. You know, they're taking down hoops, so you can't even go outside and hoop unless you buy yourself a basketball hoop and got a backyard and you can hoop. But, you know, how you keep it in shape with everything?
Oh man, you know, I mean, still trying to follow a regular schedule. You know, here in Houston, there's some places, there's gyms open. So me and my trainer, we go to work every day. You know, every day working on different parts of my game, working on conditioning, working on staying in shape, staying ready for from whenever an opportunity presents itself. With all this going on, everything's kind of at a standstill right now. July is hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed that July is the month that, sports is able to come back. So,
Yeah.
Whenever sports is able to come back, then everything should be ready and on and rolling.
I hope so, man. We definitely need sports. I feel like sports definitely helps bring everyone together, and because it definitely will help try to unite us a little bit. With all the craziness going on, with sports definitely helps that. So, before I let you go, I just want to ask you, just to run you through a few questions before I let you go. And I appreciate you coming on, Jordan. It's Jordan too. So. You got a great name, man. My son's named Jordan LeBron too, so he got a pressure, bro. He's got.
Oh wow.
So I'm working on his game. I'm working on his game because he's got pressure when he gets older. Hooping. So, so what team? What did you follow any basketball teams growing up? What was your team growing up?
Growing up, I probably had to say, as a young kid, I was a Houston Rockets fan. That was when they had Steve Francis and Cuttino Mobley.
Oh, Cuttino Mobley was nice.
Yeah, so Moochie Norris and all those guys.
The hair. I remember Moochie Norris with the hair.
I saw Moochie like 2 weeks ago. I lived in something. That's 2 weeks ago.
That's cool. Oh, you don't got the throw no more? that was crazy. Those Houston team was cool. Even the Team Mac Yao Houston teams were pretty.
That combo was nice too. Yeah, with Shane.
Team bad. Yeah, I thought they would do more, man. They had that Jazz series where they should have won, but when was the first time you dunked?
The first time I dunked was, I think, the end of my 8th grade year. The end of my 8th grade year, and it wasn't even like in a game.
Oh, just like messing around?
Yeah, like we were just messing around, and my coach was just like, Jordan, I bet you probably thought you couldn't dunk this basketball. So I just tried it. And I got like really close. Like I didn't make it the first time, but I got like really close. Okay. So then after I tried it again, and I made it, but it was like a little rim grazer, like a little rim grazer. So but my first in-game dunk was actually my freshman year. And I had never tried to dunk before or anything. I guess it was just like adrenaline. I didn't even know I could dunk like this at this time.
You just
so I literally feel it was a breakaway, and I just heard somebody yell dunk it. So I just took off as hard as I could. And I was up.
And you just started flying?
Like, boom. And so then I was like, I shocked myself. And so after that, I was just like, uh-oh. I was like, because I love watching people dunk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was like, the fact that I dunk now, I said, dude, I'm about to. And I did at one point. I was like, I'm going to try to make this like, I'm going to start working on like different dunks and stuff, dude. Like, that's like, that could be a talent of mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just started around with it. Like, once I got older and my, I started building more muscle in my legs and my bounce started getting better and better, I just started trying stuff, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I've been dunked on, but I got dunked on really bad once on an alley-oop. Like, I was on the worst, man. And yeah, because what happened was I'm on the post and I don't see a guy cut. He's on the 3-point line, but he cuts. And the point guard, I see the point guard's eyes go up, but I didn't know why he was going up. And then all I know is I'm looking back and the guy's in the air and I don't go after because I know I have no chance of blocking it. I got away just in time to not get it. But it was bad, bro. It was bad. I remember that like it was yesterday. It was like, and what was worse is we were getting destroyed. Like we're losing by 30 and the game plan was just shot. I'm like, coach, just take me out, man. I'm done. That's just out there. That's my memory. I got dunked on. I never got the dunk, but I got dunked on. So
hey, it happens to the best of us.
It happens, it happens, but it's still not a proud moment. But let's see. So what's one part of your game you feel like you got to work on? Most.
Definitely my ball handling right now. Because at my size and my height right now, next level, I'm definitely going to be a 1-2. You know, I'm going to be a combo. So I bringing the ball up the floor and handling pressure. And I think I'm getting there. I'm still working on it, but definitely that's something. Being more of a consistent outside shooter. Just kind of just honing in on that thing and making sure that it's just, you know, all mechanics are right. And also just watching film, making sure that my mind is right and, you know, my IQ where it needs to be, and just, you know, always learning different things about the game, man. You know, I learn something new every you know, that's just, you know, I enjoy doing.
Okay. All right. So last question. Who's on the Mount Rushmore? Who's your Mount Rushmore?
Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta end it on a tough one.
Ooh, that's tough.
It's tough. I know, but I'm gonna put you on the spot. Four.
Okay, what are the stipulations?
It could be who you think is the. Because I mean, Mount Rushmore is always tricky because it's, you know, it can mean a lot of different things. It can mean who's the 4 most influential players to you. It can mean who's the best. Who
Okay.
whatever you want it to be.
Let's go my top 4 right now.
Okay, you could do that.
Not in any order, no order.
No, this is just regular. Mount Rushmore 4. There's 4 guys.
LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi. Gotta throw Kawhi in there.
4th one's tough. Not as big as tough.
The 4th one is so tough. I gotta throw James in there, bro.
No KD? No KD?
KD's not playing right now.
Okay. All right. You're right. No, okay. I'll put that. All right. You're right.
Yeah, I thought about that. See, yeah, I knew he was gonna say that. I thought about that.
You're right.
But I don't know. I was going back and forth, but it was 3. I didn't know if I wanted to play either Steph, Dame, or James.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm gonna take James out and put Dame. I'm gonna have to go with Dame. So I got Bron, Kawhi, and Dame. That's what I'm right.
Dame's cold-blooded. All right. I lied. I'm gonna give you one more question. Who's the best young player right now? Like the best first or second year guy. Who you think is the best young player right now?
Ja Morant.
Ja's nice. He's special.
Taking Memphis to the playoffs, dude. His first year.
Oh, they on the playoffs, yeah. For sure. Yeah.
I think he'd be rookie of the year.
Oh, he just played, like, with the whole debate between him and Zion. It's not even close because Ja's played most of and he took a team that many people thought would be, you know, in the lottery, you know, have a top 3 pick, and he got them 1 game below 500 before everything started. You know, that's impressive.
He's in the West, but he's doing it and making it look easy. His first.
And he's got that Russell Westbrook type. You know, he tries to kill people when he does. Like, he almost killed Kevin Love. Like, he almost took a soul.
But he's doing this too. He's letting people go.
Yeah.
So, like, he has that dog in him. Like, he'll go out there and he'll do something, and he's gonna let you know about it every single time. Oh yeah.
And he makes his team better. You know,
makes his team.
Jaren Jackson's gotten better.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell they love playing with him.
Oh yeah. So they got a good one. They definitely got a good one for sure. But Jordan, bro, this was fun, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. You know, like I said, man, this was a pleasure. You know, I'm rooting for you big time. You know, all your success, you know, in your next endeavor. So, you know, if anything you want to say before you go, you know, the floor is yours right now. If you got anything to say.
Oh man, no, I just appreciate you reaching out and having me on the show, man. You know, it was a wonderful experience. I'm gonna keep following you. I'll support you for sure. You know, keep doing your thing. Hope your family is well during this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely we'll do this again, and I'm looking forward to that. But like I said, man, continued success. You know, your story is tremendous. You know, so I hope, you know, people can learn from this and continue to just keep grinding no matter what obstacles get thrown at you. So, you know, I'm, you know, like I said, really appreciate you coming on the show. And, you know, I should have the show posted later. I'll make sure I'll send you the show link. And, you know, like I said, man, thanks for coming on. And on that note, guys, that's Jordan Jackson. Thanks for listening to the Off the Ball podcast. And be safe. Jordan, you be safe, you and your family, okay? And on that note, take care, guys. Peace.